This is typically my build as to what I like to do and how I like to play Commando. So fire sale, majority of the time, you're gonna be wasting way more ammo than you will be armor inside of your matches. Like, sure, insider trading might give you a little bit more survivability, but it really is up to you. I just like the more ammo because I want to be able to save me more money. I spend all of my time having to constantly keep buying ammo, so if I can keep saving money on that, yeah, makes sense. And obviously more ammo capacity. Next up, think fast. It's simple impact grenades. Impact grenades are godlike on any game that you play. Anyway, next one is market panic. This one is just purely like one part of my crowd control build that I like to do with Commando. So I like to put enemies in panic state, to just have them just stand in place on top of the acid pools, to where they'll just sit there dumbfounded. They take damage over time from the acid pools, from the Hellion, and also free damage from you or your teammates. So really can't go wrong with that. Then we've got offset. This is one of two of your damage perks that are on side of Commando just overall. And also the stumble actually comes in handy quite a bit. If you want to just stun lock Skrakes and flesh pounds and even bosses at times, this will help you immensely. And then obviously for the second half of the magazine, where it gets converted from stumble into damage increase, yeah, you're gonna want that. Extended coverage, because I want those acid clouds from market panic to last as long as possible, to keep the enemies panicked and just sitting there just getting free damage. So crowd control, AoE, all that good stuff. I messed around with both of these inside of the closed beta. Not Dead Yet isn't too bad, but booster shot is by far the better play. You can go from, I believe overall, with the base healing along with booster shot, it's about 90 health recovery. Corrosion explosion changes your grenade type from not impact, force, which is typically good for armor, to acidic, where it basically just turns your grenades into more crowd control. Yeah, rather than just the simple impact, you can do crowd control, throw it at your feet. It will still do the impact explosion. They'll just be, 50% weaker, but it'll also have a linger effect of acidic damage. Slow dance and feeble, again, more crowd control. You sit here, notice how enfeeble weakens enemies, causing them to move and attack more slowly. That affects pretty much everything. Breaks, flesh pounds, bosses. You're gonna want that. You're trying to play keep away and try to pump as much damage as safely as possible. You want that. Next up, time and again. For any of you who have played any form of killing floor game, whether if it's 1, 2, you know exactly what Commando is supposed to be doing, aside from crowd control. Z time span. You want as much Z time as often as possible, because by the time you're up to my level and you get people that are boosting up their proficiency as much as possible, where you're getting that proficiency bonus during Z time, y'all gonna be absolute demons. Quick return, if you want to be able to crowd control spam, yeah, you're kind of gonna want this. And the name of the game for Commando is, you best get real comfortable with landing headshots. If you don't, it's gonna be a bad time for you. Not only for quick return, but again, time and again. Barrels blazing. Typically, I don't like to use offset weapons. So what I like to lean into, because, the whole point of classes in majority of video games is to excel at specific things that they're supposed to be doing, and also their very specific weapons. So with how I like to play Commando, I like to use their weapon specifically, which is the Knight's Bridge and the Scar primarily over anything else. So this is your second of the two damage output perks for Commando. So having both Blaze along with Offset allows you to use basically any weapon. Preferably, if you're going to be using barrels blazing, you kind of want something with something larger than a 10-round mag to get a little bit more damage output. Because right now, Limb Reaper is far too niche. You have to use ballistic weapons in order to receive any form of damage output. And the Real Rager, where you have to sit here and use a syringe of yours that allows you to get a damage buff for 20 seconds, which is extremely niche. Nobody wants to do that. So honestly, I feel like a lot of these could do with a little bit of a rework, a little bit of a change, to where they're not super niche and can be more something similar along the lines of Offset. Again, that's kind of how I like to do it. I put extended mags on everything that I have, so that's why I use it. Scavenger, this allows you to just, again, get real comfortable with landing headshots, and you will basically just have infinite grenades. And then obviously for my last perk that I just got for 30, I sometimes like to choose between Boom Cycle to have a little bit of a wider radius on the crowd control bit, or you can lean into damage, where since you have Market Panic and you'll have enemies just sitting there just dumbfounded as to what to do with their life, they'll sit there and just constantly keep taking increased damage from the Hellions acid cloud, and eventually they'll just die simply by that without really having to shoot at them or anything. And again, affects bosses as well, so entirely up to you, but that's kind of how I play it. And now I'll just briefly go over what I use for attachments on my weapons, and that's kind of it. So we've got, for my Wraith, we've got AP rounds, suppressor, enhanced foregrip, reflex sight, extended mag, heavy frame receiver. For the Scar, kind of the same thing. AP round, suppressor, enhanced foregrip, reflex sight, drum mag, heavy frame receiver, and then Knight's Bridge, same thing for majority of everything. Got reactive alloy rounds, compensator, laser sight, reflex, drum mag, and heavy frame receiver. In the event that you're wondering, like why are the reactive rounds? The knockdown affliction, funny enough, with the stumble, you can actually knock down bosses. I'm talking straight, just plant them on their ass. It's hilarious. And definitely, it will help you in some cases to where if you need to make some space, especially versus the Crawler Queen, yeah, this will help. So, kind of it. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That's kind of how I go about doing my Hell on Earth runs. We're pretty much live almost every single day on my Twitch channel. So, you guys want to stop on by, say hi, ask a few questions, and this, that, and the third, go for it. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.